go. Can't wait. Go. We are, but oh, look how much I'm sweating. That's gross. Don't do that.
Hi.
That's menopause, y'all. Perimenopause. You just sweat about everything. I didn't realize I was sweating that bad.
I call it the imbalance between trying to figure out hot and cold at my house. Like,
yes.
It's cold, but I have a heater, but I have a sweater on. I'm like, I'm sweating, but I'm
so
cold.
Crazy.
Like, no.
So we're going to give you all a few minutes to get into the comments today. I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer. Let me go find that bitch. Cannabis Closet script. You think I know this by now. You're about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with Canna Queen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the host, their subsidiaries, and their guests. If you are not sure, don't worry. We will tell you, or you can just take a good look at our faces, and that'll probably tell you first. It's time to get this session started. Thanks for rolling up and showing up, and enjoy the show. We will start by, hey, what's up? We will start by telling y'all that this show is brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzers. Queen Kitty Seltzer, pop this kitty. Pop this is our CBD line. Brand new labels. Check it out. We are available for wholesale. It's a low-dose CBD drink with no sugar and no sweeteners.
We use yak in the back.
No yak in the back, and we use organic terpenes to get the flavors, and we utilize organically grown hemp in order to get the CBD for our drink. It's delicious. Lemon Kiss is one of my absolute favorites. We have also Bubblegum Burst and Nearly Naked, which is just a plain CBD seltzer.
No, this is way better than any other drink that you've tried on the market. And
far better.
They're gross. We are trying to replace all of those drinks. So
yes, we are. We want you to drink something refreshing, not disgusting.
Yes, exactly. You drink seltzer water and bubbly water and water to refresh, right? And hydrate,
yes,
not to feel disgusting about drinking something.
Yeah, not to.
I'm wearing my boobie.
Oh, it's fitting quite nicely, actually, on you.
So I was like, is it a different size?
No, they're both smalls, but I feel like mine were down here. So, okay, listen. Real quick, for those of you listening, we are doing some merch testing. We're checking out our merch. And this is one of our shirts. Can you stand up and show that shirt off again? This is one of our shirts. For some reason, it's looking quite nicer on her than it did. My boobs were like way down sagging on my shirt. It could be with shoulder placement, but my point of telling you guys all of that is that I have a small crop top and a small hoodie like that, but I will gift them to a person who wears a small and has big old boobies, because that's where it's going to fit the best. It's going to feel nice if you got boobies to push those designs up and into the right place. But we will be making a small version of this shirt, also of this hoodie. You can see the cat design is on the back, and then there's a crown on the top corner there. This is the back of the cat. It's not the front of the cat. So it's like you can just see the back, and then the crown is up there. It's really cute. I really love this design, and I'm excited to get to like readjust them as necessary. But yeah, if you are a wearer of small garments but have bigger boobies, please hit me up. I got some stuff for you.
Some swag for you. Congrats, cousin.
Yes.
I saw your merch. I saw your and that's awesome. And what up next?
What's up? Okay, so for those of you in the comments, if you're here from Facebook, please tag all of your friends, especially those in Missouri. We're going to be recapping that debate today. If you are here from Facebook, I would also like for everybody to please tag a gentleman named Chris LaGrange. Is that his name?
Let me go to the notes. I did pull it from
because I got something to say to Chris LaGrange.
LeGrand.
Chris LeGrand. I'm gonna tag him too.
And I responded a second time to to because he said it twice. So the first one we addressed, and so I hit him up again and tagged him the second time to let him know our show started at 4:20 p.m. Yay! Congrats. See, we need to get ours going.
I'm tagging him. I don't know if that's got a tag on it or not, but that's his name, Chris, right? Or Christopher?
I have it noted as Chris in the notes.
I believe it is Chris. I got words for this gentleman. I got words. And the reason is because I feel like he was talking out of his ass a little bit, and we need to correct that immediately. So if you're in here,
or like, again, please cite, please cite some facts of where we ambushed our anybody. Our full intentions are always stated when we start a show.
Yeah, so let's tag him. Let's tag him up. I want him to be here when I address this comment, because
we're not ambushing you. We're letting you know. We're
letting you know. We're letting you know. First of all, we'll repeat this. Hopefully he comes in. So if you are a Facebook viewer, please tag all of your friends, especially those in Missouri, and also tag Chris LeGrand, because Chris LeGrand, me and you need to have words, sir, for the lie that you told in our comment section. Not once, but twice. And that lie is what? That this show is known for regularly ambushing their guests. That's an interesting comment coming from a man who has never once been in our comment section.
Yeah, I know we don't always see all of our viewers, but
he don't come here and watch this show.
And again,
he's never been there before.
If he did, he would know that, again, all of our guests know full well why they're coming onto our show. They know if we have an opinion on it when we talk to them. And so, we were very clear about that. And in this case, our opinion.
There's only one show that I can think that comment could have potentially been talking about, and that was a show last year in Missouri. It was our first year. It was our 4th episode. So season 1, episode 4. And apparently the one white man on our panel felt that he did not get to express himself fully. And we got some backlash for that because we asked some harder questions that he was unable to answer, and his organization.
So y'all know, for context, this is a social equity
episode. And it was a social equity episode too.
So apply that first sentence.
So a white man on a social equity show felt like he didn't get enough play. Well, sir, the show's not about you. And then, and you listen, when I say this, I want to tell you from deep inside of my soul, I do want to call a truce with this individual and this organization, because I think what they do for Missouri is very important. But I also think that they should pay attention to how they brand themselves. And we brought that up, and they didn't like that. And then they
never wanted to rediscuss, never gave us the opportunity.
They came to me in my Facebook Messenger the night of the show and said that they did not feel properly represented. I can't get the word out. And I said, let me discuss with my partner.
Who was on vacation. I was on vacation.
She was on vacation, and we literally ended the show and she was done. And so I was like, give me a couple days to get in touch with her. Blah, blah, blah. The next day, I'm scrolling Facebook, and this man has blasted us saying that we ambushed him and that we did all this stuff. And a bunch of people were in the comments agreeing with him because they're friends with him. But this is what I want to impress on you. If your friend is saying something out of their ass, I need you to hold them accountable for the bullshit that they're saying. So when I saw this, I went into the comment section and I stated why he was not ambushed. And I asked every person that was bad mouthing our podcast, had they watched the show? And they, in fact, had not watched the show. And when most of them took the time, I can't say most, some of them took the time to go watch the show, they came back with a different attitude. So that's the only time that I can say that somebody said we may have ambushed them. We did not. We did not. We made them well aware that we are going to ask difficult questions. The questions may not be questions that we prepped you for, because the conversation may lead to other questions, as they tend to do. And that's the case. As far as this debate is concerned, we didn't ambush anybody. We invited several people to join this debate, and only Nate Bullman showed up. Only Nate showed up for the vote yes side of this debate. We asked several people to come. We asked Dan Viets to come. We asked John Payne to come. We asked Isaiah Weathers to come. We asked Melanie Marie to come. And they all said yes, they would come. And then most of them ghosted us. Melanie Marie had some technical difficulties the day of the show, and she was a last-minute add-on because of all the ghosting that had happened. And Nate was the only one with the cojones to show up to debate his opinion and his side of the debate. So, Chris LeGrand, if you see this and you're watching this, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You never watch our show, and this is the first time I've ever seen you in the comment section. And if you want to come on this show and have a conversation, I would be more than happy to. But I didn't see you lining up on any of these pages that shared our show in Missouri that you're a part of to come have this conversation with us. So don't come in my comment section and tell us how we ambushed somebody when you didn't even have the balls to volunteer.
Or discuss anything. All he said was we didn't do our job, or we did our job incorrectly.
Poorly, which we never do. Fuck off.
So again, and it's kind of said in our opening statements, and if you tune in later and don't hear that, is that this is a no rules show. You know, our thing is act accordingly and be kind. You know, don't call names. We don't tolerate that. You know, but you certainly have a right to your opinion, and we'll let you say it. And then we're going to tell you how we feel about it. And that's our right as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and if your opinion is based on non-facts, on just like you can't, first of all, Chris LeGrand is part of Legal Missouri 22. He's part of that organization. He represents that organization. Yes, to Legal Missouri. So to me, he just came in here with his bullshit propaganda. But if you're going to come in here with your bullshit propaganda, get it fuck right. Watch the show on a regular basis. Bring us an insult that we could cop to. Because there's plenty. But that ain't one of them.
All right. And then so enough about him. Get him in here. He's been tagged. He knows he's been.
If he wants to come in here, though, if he comes in here, we'll talk about it again. But
yes, and there's no ambushing. We're here to talk to you about this. So that's why. So if someone wants to, I can even in just a second. I'm gonna pack my bowl first.
Yeah. So tag him, tag all of your friends in Missouri as you've been doing. We would love to see all of you back in the comment section. We thought it was a great debate. There was a clear, to me, there was a clear, I don't want to call it winner, but like,
I mean, again, the thing is representation, right? We asked for representation for both sides, and we wanted it to be equal, and it didn't work out that way, not to any fault of our own. And so that, I think, is where I think the overall feel was that a lot of people felt informed. They felt that and I think that we didn't get to cover some of the comments that were coming in as they were coming in, because as I was reading, I was like, how did I miss half of these comments? Yeah. Because they were just rapid firing coming through as we were live. So
Missouri don't fuck around.
So we have a lot of follow-up comments and questions. I think that we'd love to discuss. As you're talking, I was just going to start kind of tagging the people that made some of these comments or asked some of the questions, and see if we can't start another little lively discussion. So, but yeah, that's it. That's why we're here today.
Listen, you want to know why Canna Queen's mad today? His name is Chris LeGrand.
Yes. And so also we haven't mentioned this, but I'll just kind of do this again as I'm clicking around, and I scrolled past it on our notes. But October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Check your titties.
Check your titties. Go get your mammos done. If you're worried about the squashing, there's other types of mammogram or scans that you can do that also do the same job. So it's not the same. It is the same old squashing in some cases, but there have been advances.
There have been some advances depending on what your local facility has. I will tell you, I have the baby biddies, right? And so baby biddies are even harder to get into that machine because you're trying to put a flat chest into a machine that presses down like this. So it presses like this, and you're trying to get your tiny boobie in there. It wasn't that bad, ladies. It wasn't that bad, even with the dense bitty babies. Okay. So go get your boobies checked, and also do a monthly check. It's a swirl around. If you got a significant other, they could do your check. Just swirl around, put your arms above your head, do a little swirl around, check for any lumps, bumps, anything abnormal. And if you feel anything abnormal, make an appointment with your doctor, because if it's caught early, you can usually take care of it without any major shit happening. So, and if you have a history in your family of breast cancer, please make that appointment. I don't care. Like, don't wait until you're 40. Don't wait until you're 40. That's what I'm going to say about it. Don't do that. I waited until I was 44. And I'll tell you, there's like a little, like some spots in one of my boobs, and they were like, we don't know if that's normal. So they had to call me back in and do it again. And then there was like a little bit of difference. So I had to do a whole biopsy, which was scary as fuck. But I came out on the end like negative. So definitely go get your titties checked. Hey, guys too.
Yeah. Guys too, men too. You
your mammaries can get cancer. Check your titties. Check your titties.
Even if you're just touching yourself to make sure that they're, that's where it starts.
Check your titties, and also feel free to inbox me your titties. Nothing else. Like, literally, I don't want to see your dick. But if you want to inbox me your titties, I love to look at titties.
And she's not being biased against any gender,
no,
y'all.
So, titties.
Titties are titties.
I know.
Let's see. We got more people. Thank you, Jen, for tagging.
Yes, thank you for tagging everybody.
Get Kyle to pop up to tag.
Somebody tag Kyle Kistner. Dawn, the cannabis advocate.
Richard Breland was pretty vocal. Mm-hmm. See if I can, if these will pop up.
Diana Brakefield was in there, if you guys know her. Frank McKenna was in there. Dana Bland was in there. Richard Breland.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely. Indica had some questions. Greg Galvin had some questions. Jen Goal, I saw you were in here already, so we got your question on here. Pete Santoro.
There's Daniel.
Nate.
And Indica.
Epen was in there with some questions.
Libby.
Daniel Jones, Jeffrey Asher, Kyle Irwin.
And some of these people, their names are backwards. I put them in I didn't put in their screen names.
Devin Oliver.
Karma.
I know she's in it today. Timothy. I don't think I'm going to pronounce his last name right. Timothy Gillio. Is that how you pronounce it? He's been a guest on the show before. I apologize. John Grady, Vernon McClanahan. Yeah, those are just some of the names that we have.
Jen tagged a bunch. Thank you, Jen.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Chris.
Chris who?
Vaughn. He's Chris is in here.
Oh, hey, Chris.
No, sorry.
I was like, if Chris LeGrand is in here, we gonna
I wouldn't have been so congenial and jovial.
Y'all could try tag Brennan England also, and also tag John Payne, Epen Thampy. That would be great. Let's see. I want to scroll this banner. If you guys would be so kind, and if you have it in your pocketbook, to just send $1 or $2 over to the Cola Lounge. $ the Cola STL is their Cash App. They were the space that we were utilizing for the debate. And we would love it if, we could get some donations that way. They just moved into a new space, so every little bit helps. And yeah, send them $1, send them 50 cents, send them $5. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. They're very, and they're doing, Brendan's doing a town hall tonight, which we're going to be covering. So as well, or playing. So they do have it live through the links. Which we did post a couple of different places. They are going to do their own live session, but if you don't have the link to that or can't access it, we are going to be playing it live here. We will not be commentating. We'll just be here to view and have it available to those that tune in. So
Missouri's getting our utmost attention. We've been covering this for a while. We talked about it a little bit on the 17th when we were in St. Louis. We had the debate on the 19th. We're doing the recap right now. And we're going to do some more recap on Wednesday, because we're going to limit this particular part of the show for an hour. We're going to leave, and then we're going to start a new show for the
sorry, no, karma's taken away from that
for the town hall tonight with John Payne and Brennan England. So definitely tune in for that. We have Marion Kuhn is going to be going live with us. So hopefully no technical difficulties, and we can get everything going, and we can get that debate to you, or not the debate, the town hall to you live. So you can ask, well, not of us, because we're going to be silent on it, but there will be people there asking questions. And I believe they also have an online forum, which we'll share that as well. So
some of our questions I feel like would probably be really great for the debate tonight, or I'm sorry, for the town hall tonight. I hope that those that made the comments are jumping on to that town hall and making those questions available to that representative. What's that face? I'm reading something. Oh.
Okay. So,
I saw your comment somewhere, and then also didn't see it again when I was going through the comments today. So I'm glad you followed up. We didn't, because we didn't address some of the comments. So
this is a interesting comment.
It is. Do we want to fire this up as the first question or comment to address, or do we want to kind of go?
I mean, if you guys want to tag Cindy Northcutt, you can do that. Darcy is her partner. You can tag her. I'd love to hear more about this. To be very clear and honest, I don't know anything about this. So
I feel like there's 3 subjects in there to kind of discuss, and maybe that's something we put. I feel like there was a whole nother discussion in one of the questions or the comments where it just started another feed of like, oh, we could probably do a whole nother show on.
Well, Trish, if you're ever interested in coming on to talk to us about your experience and your advocacy, we could definitely schedule you for that to start. Let's just start there. So this comment says, for those of you who are on YouTube and Twitch, this comment says, I wasn't able to view the entire podcast last week. It is going, I'm working on getting it up on Spotify too, but it's on all of the channels as well for the rewatch. See, Did the subject about Missouri industry owners in Southwest Missouri having a side hustle in the Missouri prison slave trade come up? That's a lot to unpack.
That is. That's a pretty serious, no one wants to hear those words put together. And no. And so to hear that it's then attached to something, to something that we're, that's a whole nother thing, I guess. And is there actual documentation of this somewhere?
Yeah, can you link us?
Or articles that lead to this discussion? Mm-hmm. I see, what you're, the notes, but
it's cannabiscloset420@gmail is where you can find us.
And
but it's happening. So people in Missouri are very aware that this is happening. This is we're not from Missouri. We cover Missouri because we love Missouri and we have such great connections there. And there's such an energy around your advocacy. And I noticed it right off. The first time I ever visited Missouri, you guys had just legalized medicinal and your caregivers were running the show. Like there was 0 dispensaries.
And so much love for the community. And that's how it started too. Again, when it starts as the caregivers and for, like we see it,
and then the businesses came in and have been destroying the cannabis industry
destroying it ever since, when it stopped being about the plant and the patients and the people and started becoming about just the money that it brings in. We know it's a profitable business, y'all. We know this. And there's no reason why we can't still get the same lovely benefits that we have while it was illicit and underground for you, and now we're restricting everybody and creating more barriers and hurdles. So
yeah, there's a girl. This is a little off subject. There's a girl on TikTok that I need to reach out to her and get her on the show. But she's a small business owner, and she splits her entire profits. She doesn't make more than anybody in her company as the CEO of her company. She splits all of her profits. Everybody wins or loses for the year. Sometimes they get cars. Sometimes they don't get shit, know?
And so then there's this equal desire to prosper,
Yeah.
Not let me work my ass off and watch you drive the fancy car while I'm, hitching rides.
I'm struggling.
And struggling.
Yeah. Can the cannabis industry do it with all of our regulations? Could we have a model like that?
I think even one of the nothing's perfect, but there's certainly, and there's definitely even things that we've brought up that could be changed in the industry that we probably won't ever see. We can talk about it and hope, and maybe that's the, what starts to change the tide on things. But, which is, again, the first thing that always comes to me is the packaging crisis and the eco damage that we're doing that in that sense when we're bringing a natural medicinal plant to, market. And now we've got 10 ways to Sunday to get it to you that are not disposable. And yes, a happy employee is a productive employee.
Listen, home growers, you don't need this. Stop sending me home with this bag. If I bought from a plug, do not send me home with this bag. You are contributing to the negative environmental impact that we're having.
Or utilize the packaging that is available. We've seen several easy to access non-plastic packaging. For
why are you? If you're an underground cultivator, why are you spending your money on frivolous shit like that? Anyways, that's not subject.
Yeah, that's another show. But also, and totally kind of separate. But also, it was this meme or picture that I saw where it was someone that was like, it was like a stack of empty jars on shelves, and she was like, all of these empty jars are full of water. And so when hurricanes came through or this came through, I had water. And, and empty jars take up space. Why not fill them with water? Water can be, boiled and when you start something fresh. And
It is a thing.
And so, and then when time of crisis came, everyone called her crazy because she did it. But then when time of crisis came and no water was available for a week, all of her neighbors were coming to her going, "We know you have stocks of water. Can you please share?"
Mm-hmm. Also, don't tell people that because they show up at your house. Weird.
Exactly. But she was trying to get the word out of, do this.
Yeah.
Warning. You get warning. There are ways. So anyway,
Ziplocs are great. Just don't keep your shit stored in the Ziploc. When you get it home, put it in a jar. But anyway, okay.
All right.
So let's start with the first question that we have on the list. Do you want to just read that and then we'll discuss?
Yeah. So
just to be clear, we're not going to get to all of the questions today, but we are again going to give some more time to this on the 26th. We had a guest that was kind of lined up, and that guest is not feeling well and doesn't think they're going to be feeling well by Wednesday. So we're just going to continue this coverage. Okay.
Okay. The first question that came in, I think it was like very towards the end, but says, if a person is unable to partake in the usual flour, wouldn't gummies come into play? Quick RSO, FICO drops, etc. There was a little bit more of the comment, but that was the main point of it. And
was this concerning micro licenses?
I don't know if this was that concerning micro licenses, and I feel like the way that we could tie it into that answer is just about plant limitation and production. When we're talking about the number of plants that these micro licenses are allowed to grow versus what it takes to actually produce some of these, products, can a micro business actually provide or even have the ability to make those gummies, drops?
Not unless their whole facility is dedicated to just that and not flour, just like smokable flour production.
And then I guess my also question is, they don't limit the number of ounces on that limitation of plants, or how does that, do we know if there's any?
I think they're just limiting the number of plants, but not the number it produces, right. Not the pounds.
Okay. Because they
just have to manifest it.
Again, interpretation, regulations or information, but wording matters. We've seen the changes here in Colorado of how it went from this is X, now it's this. It used to be explained as this, but now it's very limited as this. And so just that was the first question.
So are these micro licenses going to be able to thrive in a market that requires these extra products? Like, there's going to be a demand for concentrates. There's going to be a demand for edibles. There's going to be a continued demand for RSO. There's going to be a demand for tinctures, a smaller demand, I think, for those last two products, most likely, but there is a demand for those things.
Right. And when you talk about access for everyone, not everyone wants smokable flour, cartridges, etc.
Right. And so when you limit a micro license to a certain number of plants, tell me the number again. I always forget it.
250, I think, is the number, if I'm not mistaken.
That's not enough to make RSO on a large scale. That's not enough plants to make RSO on a commercial scale. So they will not be able to compete in the market with larger businesses because their plant count is going to be limited. What they're able to produce is going to be limited because their plant count is severely limited. That's a crazy low amount of plants for a business. For a business. We're talking about commercial license. We're not talking about your basement.
Yeah. No.
And for those of you who create your own edibles and oils, it takes a mass amount to just create a small little 1 gram tube.
And even just to put it, in number terms for people,
So this says 250, and it's questionable if they can even produce more than pre-rolls. Well, first of all, based on the plant count alone, it's questionable that they would have enough product to do anything beyond that.
Right. And so again, limiting, and then who's allowed? Are the big businesses allowed to sell to the micro businesses?
The micro businesses are not allowed to do business.
No, but our big businesses allowed to.
And they can, yeah.
So they can sell their product to the small businesses, but the small businesses can't sell them anything.
No, neither way. So there's no B2B action.
So no and no.
Micro businesses and larger businesses.
Yeah.
That's I mean, and then they want to call it a social equity piece. It's impossible that anybody could be equitable in that
situation. It doesn't matter at this point. It's not equitable at all.
The answer to that is, those things are going to be available, but they're only going to be available to the bigger businesses, because the smaller businesses are going to have they might get into some edibles, maybe concentrates, perhaps, but it's going to be really difficult because they don't have enough plant material to produce those things and also offer plant material.
Right. And if they're also limited to just making one product, a pre-roll product, what does that do for anyone? How is that access?
There will have to be facilities dedicated to creating concentrates and only concentrates, to creating extraction and only extraction within those micro businesses, of which there are only 144.
It's not even a micro business. This is a micro, like,
it's nothing. It's
it's nothing.
It's like a billionaire handing you a penny and telling you to be grateful.
Okay, let's basically, if they don't partake in the usual flower, if they are to have a micro license, then gummies and others may not even be able to come into play, I think is what I'm taking from the final article for that. So again, y'all tune into your town hall and comment and ask the questions there. You're going to have your representative that's really supposed to, and again, take everything with a grain of salt and do your research on the amendment and reading of it.
We're hoping that Marion is going to be able to see your comments too, so maybe then she can ask your questions and get answers to some, not all, to some of those questions if she has an opportunity. But some people in the town hall might also have the same concern. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the same concern as you.
Yeah, I think, yeah. All right. So the next question that came in was from Kyle. It was a two-part question. I did split it up. But he was talking about, what if someone is growing more than 3 plants under this? We kind of know what happens if you're growing more than 3 plants and you get caught. And is a minor considered anyone under 21? Oh, sorry, is 21 and up. Is a minor considered anyone under 21? So
yes, is the answer to that question. That's simple and pure.
So when we say an 18-year-old is an adult.
No, 18-year-olds are only adults if you want them to go to war, if you want them to pay taxes. Okay. Also, by the way, if your teenager is working and paying taxes that's under the age of 18, they should file for a tax exempt status because they are being taxed without representation. They do not have the right to vote. So they should get a tax exemption on those paychecks. They should not be paying into a system that they can't vote into. Just saying. Okay. Anyways, I don't know a lot about finance, but that I do know.
And then, so those were questions. Do you want me to feed the comments in between the questions? Or
yeah. So this question. So my son is a minor when he got his card. So now they're going to restrict it further. So if they have a medical card, they can't participate in the adult use market, but they can still participate in the medical market. But the laws around gifting and selling and caregiver and those things, then around adult use cannabis are going to be 21 and up and could be a fine or arrestable offenses.
Yeah, for you as an adult, giving someone under 21 anything, whether they're a patient, whether they're a friend, a family member, nada.
Because this is the argument they're going to have for your son is that who is his caregiver? Then he should be getting his cannabis from his caregiver or from a licensed dispensary, not from this adult person who just like that could be that person could be fined or sent to jail for that. And let's not fuck around with this bullshit finable offenses, misdemeanor offenses, okay? Let's not fuck around with this. If you get fined one time and then you get fined another time, or you get fined a third time, first of all, that makes it an arrestable offense. The third time's the charm, right? Second of all, if you don't pay those fines, they will put you in jail.
And so how, again, there are several comments addressing that, whole, and so we'll also readdress that. But yeah, it's worth repeating, I think, a few times. So people understand this is, again, you're recriminalizing.
It's not an end. It's not an end. See, now that we're done with the debate, we tried to kind of pull back on this a little bit, but now we're done with the debate. We're just going to be real honest with you. It's not an end to prohibition, you guys. It doesn't end prohibition unless you can, if you can still get arrested for a nonviolent cannabis offense in the state of Missouri, then you are still under prohibition terms.
Yeah.
There's just rich people making money off of you now, while you would get arrested for the same shit.
No, but they do punish us for wanting to have better health. That's the problem. That's what these things are intended to do, in a whole, as our society. Another comment or question from Kyle: what was the main justification behind not lowering the minimum capital requirement for license applicants in A3 language? I feel like that's a question for the representatives. And the people that wrote these. He has a lot of comments about the process and some of these, addressing some of these.
Again. I mean, and also just to be clear, I mean, what we should actually have Wiley Price come back on and kind of answer some of these questions. But to be clear, there's not necessarily justification behind any of this. They made the rules like, I don't. Anyways,
yeah, it's just that. Yeah, there's not justification.
Yeah,
someone felt that it benefited them to put it in there the way that they did,
or that it would be easier to pass through a Republican Congress, maybe, or Senate. Yeah. There's a lot of
So I'll put a little star on that one. Maybe that that we can get some answers there.
I don't know if it's on the list, but there was a question I remember about where's the other 94% of your tax dollars go to? And it kind of came in like right as we were leaving, and we did have that discussion. Actually.
I want to say that I started like after probably the second page of comments that I had noted here. I was like, okay, we're gonna have to have a second show.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I probably didn't get down to that one, but yeah.
So just because it's on, okay. So apparently, 2% is going to Veterans Fund, not enough. 2% is going to the public defender. Yes, right. They don't need it. And then 2% is going to drug programs.
Drug programs, education.
Okay. Not enough.
Of some sort. Enough.
Where's the other 94% go? So that question came in like right after we got off the air the other day, and I said it out loud, and we were told that it most likely is going back into the general fund where the legislator can do whatever the fuck they want with it.
And so again, why aren't we asking more for our veterans if this is supposed to help? Why aren't we asking more for, education and, and again, why is the public defender getting more money after they've gotten an infusion of money? And then they also get paid when that, for their job, when that person with their $100 citation has to reappear in court and then has to go to jail, and then they have to be represented by a public defender because they didn't have the $100 to pay that fine. And now who's double dipping here? Is there double dipping, triple dipping here? What is good?
Yes. Of course.
And so that's so again, I think that does, We have lots. It will definitely, we'll bring that one up again.
I mean, if we were voting, we would not vote for this. It's an amendment to your Constitution. It is amendment to your Constitution. That means once it's in place, it is so difficult to change. It is so difficult to change an amendment to your Constitution. And all of this is wrong. I feel like, please don't take offense to this. And if you do, we'll move on. But I feel like vote yes proponents are voting yes on one single issue. But this is not about one single issue. It is not about legalizing cannabis. It's about legalizing cannabis in a way that is going to make things better for Missouri, be better for Missouri, have Missouri be a better cannabis market. Let small businesses have a chance at thriving, have a chance at thriving. Make sure that huge corporate businesses don't end up in small, low-income minority communities where they're not going to leave any of that money behind, that they take out of the pockets of the people who live there. And all of these things are like, this is what you're voting for.
Yeah. And everyone says, oh, let's get it signed in and then we can change it and then we can change it. Y'all, you did say it took you a long time to get to this point. How do you think that something's going to get changed very quickly and easily when it comes to government? One of the comments actually that relates to this is, I don't believe that anyone will make changes once it's done. And that's from Vernon McClanahan.
We actually have the documentation on it was the public defender's office, right?
Yes.
And we have the documentation that they were just like, we got that document sent to us on the show. On the show.
Their funding and sharing the print. So Trish, we did get a document, and that was shared by Wiley Price in regard to basically a budget portion that was specifically a very large portion. I'd have to pull up the receipt to actually quote the correct number, but we do have it that the public defender's office already got a large, and some
that can be debated.
And yes, it can be debated. And Daniel, he said, I think made a comment that he felt very highly that they definitely need this percentage and help to improve the public defense system. Is this going to mean that you are going to be represented more carefully and they're going to know your name because they got more money? Is that what that's going to ensure? If so, okay, let's talk. But when we talk about this and these percentages and where they go, that's where we don't get to see the actual, they just try to flash things in front of you that they think people will get behind. Oh yeah, I really think that public defenders, we need to give that more money to them so that they can provide better services to those in need. But there are also
I don't understand how we're okay with 2% for veterans either. Listen, unpopular opinion real quick. I'm a veteran, so I'm just going to say it with my whole chest. While we do count for a minority community, veterans aren't on the whole as a group minorities. Like, there are minorities who are veterans, but a majority of veterans are not minorities. And so I'm gonna need us to calm down on that language.
It's a group that's sorely disadvantaged and taken disadvantage of.
Definitely taking advantage of. Need more funding. But don't use that in your argument for or your language for social equity as like this person also counts. Like, you know what I'm saying? It should have its own different status because veterans are important. Veterans are shafted in a lot of areas. I know that that there are government law enforcement government agencies that take money out of the veterans budget, out of Veterans Affairs budget, and so that shit's got to stop. But also, Like when we're talking about minority communities and what the I don't know, you guys, oh my God, if you guys listen to us regularly, you know that I feel this way. I hate social equity programs. I wish we didn't need them. But the fact of the matter is if we didn't have them, we already know, we can already see, even with them in place, what's happening, right? That minority communities and low-income communities are not getting a fair shake in this industry where everybody can get a slice of this pie, an equal slice of this pie. So, sorry, I don't like social equity, but because we need it and because we have to have it, that language should be very fucking specific.
Very specific.
It should be very specific that we are talking about Black and brown individuals.
I think
and people that were most affected by the war on drugs. And there should be also, you know, if you want to include women, fine, include women in a separate fucking category, because white women are barely a fucking minority. Okay. In the fact that we have vaginas is the only reason. And then veterans also being, you know, that being a different, like, anyway, the biggest problem isn't that veterans don't own cannabis businesses. The biggest problem is that when you go into minority communities and when you go into low-income communities, fucking big ass corporations are taking the money and putting it in their fucking pockets and walking back to their fucking neighborhoods with it, driving back in their fucking super rich cars back to their neighborhoods, and nothing is benefiting that neighborhood. Nothing.
Not even equal pay or proper pay for, you know,
they don't fucking pay those.
They don't. And
oh, y'all.
So
okay. Oh my God, it's 5:11.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next question. This one, I don't know if there's some actual fact behind this one, but I'll read it. How is it visitors from out of state are allowed to come by from us, but we can't go to Oklahoma or any other state?
Yeah, because remember, there's a provision in the law that about even if it becomes federally legal, you as a consumer cannot bring outside cannabis into the state. But me as a business.
Oh, this is for future. I was thinking this is happening now. I was like, how? It's not legal at all. Okay, sorry. That was my bad then. That's why I was like, I don't think this is a valid question.
Yeah. I remember when that question popped up, actually. And that's when the discussion was happening. So it does allow for B2B interstate commerce, but it does not allow for a consumer to leave the state and come back with somebody else's cannabis. Right. You can get fined for that.
Right.
Up to arrested.
Right. Yay. Okay.
And that means that this bill does not put, or this amendment does not put an end to prohibition.
Yes. Let's see. Everything these days is a catch. What's the catch? What's in the fine print that could have a negative impact? That's from Libby James.
I think we talked about it. I think
these are all the details. You know, these are
you're giving up your Fourth Amendment right to search, to, you know, the right to not to have your private property searched for like no fucking reason. Basically,
smell alone.
Alone. That's not probable cause, y'all. There's actual fucking, not in the state of Missouri, but there's actual legal state precedent for this. So get a good attorney.
The screenshot that I sent you actually kind of addressed a little bit of this, of why they want you to register as a grower, or as, you know, all the whatever you're required to do to grow, personal, medical, caregiver, etc. My question added on to that, though, I guess, is, you know, these aren't medical registries. These aren't safe or compliant to anything. Why is it okay for my information, my grow, okay to be put out there, possibly because this is, you know, being taken in by the state, opening me up for theft, opening me up for targeting, you know, is, I think, how it's at least how I would feel if I were looking at this and saying, I have to register my grow, my whatever. I'm not comfortable with that.
I'm not either. And this, I'll read it. It's Cecil King, if you guys want to tag. The A3 language is generally fairly straightforward. No, it's not. But anyways, sorry.
They said it could be, the misinterpretations are.
But has been misinterpreted. Sections 12 on page 13, medical, and section 6, page 32, adult use are crystal clear. No local or state law enforcement individual, including members of any Missouri drug task team, can request a search or arrest warrant for production, possession, transportation, storage, or cultivation of marijuana without first checking. Here's the problem. Without first checking with DHSS to verify whether the targeted individual is a qualifying patient, primary caregiver, or home cultivator registered with a valid ID. Stop. Okay, that's the problem. If I'm not, that means that they can request a search warrant, and I would either pay a fine to the state, which they're just trying to make money off of me, or I would end up going to jail, and also my plants would be destroyed. That's money out the door because I didn't register for a fucking grow license as a private citizen over the age of 21.
That has adult use grow capability.
Okay. You guys, Colorado state law says that I can grow 6 plants as an adult 21 and over. I don't have to have a license for that. I have to have an ID that says I'm 21 or older. Is that law a possibility? Yes, it's a possibility. You can have that law. Not this bullshit where I have to fucking register to grow plants in my basement so I can make my own personal RSO and not have to deal with these corporations who are fucking pumping out Walmart weed. Okay. So I have to have a license to do that under Amendment 3. So that's number one. And then they can request, it says they can't request a search warrant if DHSS says you have a license to do this. So they can, if not. Okay, so then it goes on to say, evidence of marijuana alone cannot be the basis for a search of an individual, including her home, property, or vehicle. This is the primary reason for non-medical cultivators need to register their gardens. That's bullshit, you guys. I'm sorry. It's so that they can protect from no-knock warrants. Get rid of fucking no-knock warrants. Stop murdering people who are sleeping. Oh my God. And SWAT raids. Why are we raiding people?
Why are we raiding cannabis? Why are we raiding cannabis? Like, again, if this isn't a ploy for more money and taxes and shit to be, whatever, misuse of whatever. This is
I'm sorry, Cecil King. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. As explained in my facial expressions.
They posted a second comment, but I felt it was so all no punctuation that I didn't continue. I think they were just citing the regulation stuff. So
you guys can do better.
But yes, exactly, and I think that's what we're getting at is that we can all do better. Is that any program perfect? No.
Nope.
No. But I did with that. There was a question. There was that exact question. Who's doing it better? And so I Googled it. I said, "Who's doing it better?" Yeah. It was actually Daniel. He said there are no better programs in the states. Name one. And there's actually a 50-state comparison.
They said that too.
Of marijuana legalization expungement. And so even just opening up, and I only scrolled I think the first 3 that had expungement and just the difference. Okay, so they all had petition wording in there, but I believe was it California or was it another state? Anyway, where it actually said that it was the public defender's responsibility to locate and try to locate and notify those that would be eligible, or if their charges were up for dispute.
Right, because Do your fucking job. And stop putting the onus on the people.
Then 2% to the public defenders, if that's what they're doing, is that they have to actually do the work to help expunge and actually free these POWs. Then yes, these cannabis POWs. Yes, okay. I could, if that was actually pinpointed specific verbiage.
So immediately, without question, California has a better program. I think Chicago got a better program going on. They're probably on that list as well. Probably Western states like Oregon, potentially. I haven't looked at the list. I'm just off the top of my head.
I'll post it to our Facebook page so y'all can check it out as well. Maybe take some notes on the things that you want. The things that you want that other states are doing. I have
take from the best. All in your fucking bill.
I have a huge problem of Colorado cherry picking laws from other states and implementing them here and reshaping things here. And so go get your I don't have my alarm. Is it off?
It's okay. I'm looking at it right now because I know that
I think I reset it, so it's going to go
because it was at 6:20 because we were in
yes,
we were in Missouri. Yeah.
Happy
420 West Coast.
420.
But yeah, other people are doing it better. We could give you a whole comprehensive list of what people are doing and how they're doing it better. And you can request that. Like literally the question was, well, what are we supposed to do? Wait longer? Yes.
86.
Make sure it benefits everybody, not just you.
86 years. We can wait 2 more to get it right. That was from Timothy Gillio. He also and Kyle asked a question that kind of relates to this. What recourse do grassroots supporters have to influence linguistic changes during the rulemaking process, which would create opportunities for disenfranchised communities? That's a good question as far as like, when do we get to jump in? When's the best time to show up? I think that Christina and a lot of the people that have done work could maybe answer a little bit more of like, it's a 24/7 kind of thing, right? Until you get your foot in the door to be in those rooms, right?
So we were talking, I hope she doesn't mind that we name drop her a little bit, but we were talking to Abrama Keys this weekend, and she stated her position on this. I'll leave that to her if she wants to see the show and comment. But anyways, but also she's got this plan of how to like a plan of attack, I guess. Not attack, but a plan, like a plan to go in, a plan of action to go in once if this passes, advocates now have to change course and work within what that is and what the legislation is going to be.
Which we've always said that, you've got to be ready to pivot, especially in this industry when things can change on a dime. We know that, and that's Vernon also made that comment.
We were talking about it briefly. We didn't get really into it, we talked about it briefly, but post-election, I would love to bring our advocates back on and discuss, what's next. Either way it goes. There's a plan of action for either way it goes. If the vote is no, the plan of action is clear. We work to put together a bill that is actually better and get a yes vote. If the vote is yes, then the plan of action is now we have to change course and figure out how to work within this amendment and still take care of the people.
Yeah.
And potentially try to make changes, but that's difficult. Anyway,
and then that takes a whole, think you worked hard to get where you are now, then it gets even harder. So the few that benefit, I guess, if you want to be with them, then that's yeah. But this is not for the sustainment of your communities, y'all. Not this one. It doesn't mean that y'all aren't off to a good start, but there's a lot that hurts that we're seeing.
I mean, your medical program is a pure example of how things aren't being done right, and they're not. They're not good for certain communities, but they're great for people putting money in their pockets.
So,
exactly. You guys inspired us, dude. You don't understand. I was mad inspired.
And so again, everyone says, oh, legalization, regulation, rah, rah, rah. But all this does is it drives people again, to not have a community, where we go underground again, where we start, just working within our communities, on the real, and what was actually fought for so long to even just get to this point gets lost. And it becomes Monsanto. It becomes big cannabis. It becomes corporate cannabis. We're already there, but again, we can still try and shape things, right? We can still try and, but why work against ourselves? Why work harder? Can we work smarter here, people?
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
we work smarter?
So I want to do a would you rather today before we go off the air on this show, because we're not going to have a chance to do it in the next one. And we want to wrap up here in a few minutes. So just a reminder that this show is brought to you by CQ LLC. CQ LLC is a cannabis compliance and education company, www.cq-llc.com, certified RVT provider in the state of Colorado. And also nationally, while we don't have a certification, we do teach RVT nationally as well. Customer service, cqllc@gmail.com. 970-426-5985 is where you can reach us. It's always brought to you by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Queen Kitty Seltzer, pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. La, 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 la. It's delicious. This is the Lemon Kiss. These are our new labels. They're beautiful. Low dose CBD seltzer with botanical terpenes, organically grown hemp. It's gluten-free, and we didn't put no vegans in it either.
Vegans are safe.
There's no sugar. There's no sweeteners. It's just delicious and refreshing water. There's no yak in the back, baby.
No.
Nobody likes it. So with that, let's do a would you rather. I have to pull them up. So give me a moment.
I'm going to mark our spot where we left off.
Yes. We're going to do this. And we're going to scroll way down to the bottom because that's where all the good questions are. We didn't get to do a would you rather last time. Oh, you guys, on the bottom of the screen, the Cash App for the Cola Lounge is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you wouldn't mind, and if you have it in your pocketbook, just send them like $1 or $2, to help them out as a donation. Tell them the Cannabis Closet sent you. They just moved facilities, so they're renovating the new facility and getting it all ready. And I think they just had their first event outside of the debate there as well.
I think they did a puff and paint.
Yeah, they just did a puff and paint there. Yeah, it was really dope. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. Would you rather have skin that changes color based on your emotions? So you would have mood skin. So you would be a mood ring person. Chameleon person. Or the other option is have tattoos appear all over your body depicting what you did yesterday.
Do they change every day?
Every day they change. What did you do yesterday? That's what's on your body today.
I would probably go with that one.
I am already a walking mood ring.
I know. I'm pretty
fucking mood ringy.
Yeah, you don't have to see a color. It's all over.
Yeah. I would go with tattoos too, just because then I would have new art every day. But then I would be worried, like, is it good? It's got to be good art.
Yeah. Is it like
Who's the artist? And do I have to feel the pain of it?
What is it, Moana? What's the dude's name? That his tattoos change. Maui. I don't know if you watched Moana. Anyway.
I have not watched it in a long time, so I don't know the characters' names, and I don't have children.
The one that the rock mouth.
Yes.
His tattoos change all the time.
So everybody's in here talking about mood skin. They're like, I want people to know how I feel.
Really? Y'all, you don't want to, but then what if they ask you about your feelings? Does that?
Are y'all water signs? What are y'all signs? Tell me. I'm curious. Might snitch on you. I mean, there's that. I like my privacy. Okay. Feel you on that. But I mean, what if it's just like air sign?
I know, my grocery list is tattooed on my arm. I'm like, that's a before. I need that before, not yesterday.
You got avocados yesterday. I saw a post today. He said, y'all stop pretending avocados taste good.
They do.
They do.
You have to definitely add stuff, but yeah, they still taste good.
Put some salt on it.
Put some salt on it.
A Virgo. Oh my God. Y'all are difficult. Oh, y'all are okay. And you're an earth sign too. That's interesting. Well, maybe that's because I'm a water sign. So maybe that's because I know that I'm just like, I already wear my emotions on the outside.
I work too hard to cover some of mine up, so I don't really want to mourn out.
And then there's that. Imagine if you knew how someone felt before you talked to them. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered. I wouldn't have to explain it. I mean, I live with this face. So I just tell people how it is just by looking at them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I radiate a vibe when I don't want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
Like I radiate.
Maybe we are like that, except it's more of a vibration that we just push our vibration out.
So I bet tattoos are cool. Maybe.
Tattoos are dope. And also, what if it's like abstract art? Like, I mean, I'm just making rules to the thing, but what if it's like an abstract of what you did yesterday? So it's like actually art. There would be
now if it's really silly, like it looks like
there would be a lot of me naked. Like I would just be naked on my oh, damn it, I need to wear a long sleeve shirt today. Because there would be like me naked or sex. Yeah. Or me smoking weed. Just me just puffing.
Oh.
Or eating and puffing.
Yeah. Yep. Like those are
I mean, that's in our disclaimer that our face is going to tell you how we feel.
Yeah.
So, well, it'll be on the Spotify questions, if I remember what it is. And
I know I was just thinking I should probably start typing these into the notes because at some point we've been like, did we ask this one already?
Yeah. Well, definitely, if you don't mind typing that into the notes, that would be great. We will be back at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. That is 7:30. We'll probably start a little early, maybe like 6:20, so that we can get the other person in. So that's our plan. Is to start around probably 6:20, 6:25 for the, what is it called? Tell me what it's called. The
actual town hall name.
Yeah.
Is
I got it.
Okay. Don't have anything open that says it.
I got it. I can't remember the way that it's worded. Here it is. Pathways to Power. I love it. Pathways to Power Town Hall starts at 7:30 Central. So join us in about an hour and we're going to do our best to cover that. So fingers crossed. If for some reason we can't cover it, we'll go back to this topic at hand and we'll spend another hour with you guys. So see you soon. Enjoy your break. Go to the bathroom, get some water, hydrate, pack some blunts or bowls, get some fresh air maybe if you can, maybe like a bite to eat. Okay. Be nice to yourself as always. Put your mask on before assisting others.
Yes. Cultivate love. Bring it to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't find love, give it a shout.
It's right here. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of love. And as always, stay lifted.
Stay lifted.
See you in an hour. We love you guys.